everybody, it's me, Shannon LaBruyere. I am still live and loving it. Have no idea why all the internet just dropped out, but I'm back and it looks like I've got a strong signal. Not sure what was going on. So for those of you who are just jumping in brand new, I'm glad you're here. For those of you who are jumping on over from the failed broadcast that froze for no reason, thank you for jumping on. Awesome to have you. All right, so I was just announcing the most exciting thing. I am a podcaster, officially a podcaster. So fantastic. And I will be posting a link to my podcast, which is on Spotify right now. I will be posting a link after the show. There's also the first people to find out were my Sunday Night Live group peeps. So for those of you who are a member of Sunday Night Live, you saw the announcement earlier today that it is official. For those of you who are not part of the Sunday Night Live group, I would love for you to join. It is free. All you have to do is answer a few questions, which just makes sure that we know that you're a real person and not a bot or somebody who's got, spam motives. I encourage you. So I will drop that link as well. I'm excited. Thank you all for being here. It's awesome to see you. And I am excited tonight to share with you about a frustrating, obnoxious, irritating, made me so doggone mad incident over the weekend that I don't even have just one hashtag for it. Tonight, we are going to be talking about all 4 Thrive in Change principles. And I mean it. So you get to pick your hashtag. You can choose Bring the Honor, because we're going to talk a little bit about that. You can choose Respect the Now, because it definitely required me to respect the now. Trust the process. Folks, trust the process. When in doubt, look for the process. And finally, find the beauty. You get to pick. You get to pick your hashtag. All right? So one last thing. For the leaders among us, you want to be a part of Live Stream Leadership. Our March session starts on March 7th. So you're cool. You're good. I'm going to pull it up right here, what our schedule is, because it is amazing. This is what we're going to be talking about in Live Stream Leadership. March 7th, we're going to be talking about time management is impossible. And it is. Time management is impossible. The good news and the bad news is this. Self-management is the way to success. So all good leaders figure out time management not possible, self-management necessary. That's March 7th. March 14th, when people leave. How many of you have had to fire somebody? You've had to say goodbye to somebody that just wasn't a good fit on your team as a leader. Maybe they were leaving for something that was good, but it was hard. We're going to talk about those goodbyes, how to make them as productive as possible, how to not burn bridges, right? March 21st, a bonus live stream from Orlando, Florida, where I will be hanging with my friend and mentor, John Maxwell. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to come to you from that conference. Can't wait to share with you what I've learned, because I know even in the short time that I will have been there, I will have learned something. And then finally, on March 28th, we're going to talk about mentoring and supporting, how we need mentors, how we can get mentors. Folks, you could Google all of that. You could Google it, but you wouldn't do it. That's what's so valuable about live stream leadership. We actually do it. You're with a group of people who hold you accountable, and we do the work. So it's not just getting a bunch of head knowledge and knowing, it's actually doing the work and growing. So I invite you to do that. And now, my confession. So I was really excited because I had this thing that I was trying out for. It was a speaking event, and I was really, really excited. Took me a lot to get my nerves up. And so this is what we're talking about. When I'm right and everybody else is wrong. What do we do? This happened to me. I was so excited to try out for this speaking event. And so I did my research. I looked on the web. I got all the rules. I thought I had everything in place, and I made my submission video. Yes, which was a challenge. It was a challenge. It was tough for me to do. I was nervous. I was a little bit afraid. Have you been there? So it took something for me to put myself out there. So that's number one. So I make this video, I follow all the directions, I submit it, and then I wait to get a response. And the response that I'm going to get, the response that I was scheduled to get, was a review of my video with some comments. How could I make it better? How could I grow as a speaker? How could I be more effective? Which I was really looking forward to. And then I figured I would take those and I would roll them in and do a better job. And then next week I'd submit another video because I really want to be a speaker at this event. So exciting. Well, when I got my feedback from the person who's in charge, they said a few things about my speech. They said, oh, you know, it was good. They had some things to say. It was complimentary overall. It was good. It was strong. But they said, but yeah, you didn't meet any of the requirements. And I'm thinking to myself, what do you mean I don't meet the requirements? And they said, yeah, you were supposed to do, and I'm listening to a recording, you were supposed to do this and you didn't, and you were supposed to do this and that's not present, and you were supposed to do this, so we're not going to be able to use this video submission for this speaking event. I was outraged because people, I want you to know, I researched, I did web searches, I tried to find the list of everything I needed to do. I poured over that application. How many of you have done your best? Thought you had everything. Yeah, some of you are feeling my pain, I can tell. You thought you had everything under control, and doggone it, something went wrong, and here they're telling me I didn't do it right. Well, I looked it up, and people, I want to tell you, I did do it right. I am right, and now I am angry. This isn't a good look. It is not a good look. It is not a good look to be furious mad, yelling at nobody, because there was nobody home. I'm just yelling my head off. I finally texted my coach. I went off. How can I help you? She says. I'm right. I don't want results. I want justice. How many of you have felt that way? You knew that you were right. And you didn't want just for people to make it good. You wanted to be told, yep, you were right, ma'am. We were wrong. You were right. You were awesome. We want a pound of flesh, right? We don't just want a little, I'll make it up to you. We want a pound of flesh. Well, that is definitely where I was at. So when we know we are right and they are wrong, this is your first step. Hashtag bring the honor. Hashtag bring the honor. Bring the honor when you are right and someone else is wrong. Remember who you are at your core. I do not begrudge anybody a few minutes of fuming and rolling their eyes and being angry. I don't begrudge you that. I don't begrudge myself that. But after a few minutes, time out. Time out. It's time to remember who we are. We are people of integrity and of character, and we are people of honor. We don't run around like lunatics demanding a pound of flesh. We just don't. We take a step back. We take a deep breath. We allow ourselves to calm down, and we remember who we are. Okay? So that's what I did. God love my coach. She was all in. If I would have asked, I asked her for punchkis actually. You guys, punchkis do make a lot of bad situations better. She didn't have any, so it was, after that, it was nothing. I was just going to have to go to my Thrive and Change principles. bring the honor. So I remembered who I was. I took a deep breath. I calmed down. I also remembered this. This wasn't a life or death situation here. This was, in the scheme of life, a small thing. It helps us to keep perspective. And some of you are sending those hearts, and I'm so glad you're getting it. It is so much easier to bring perspective when we take a look at the big picture and say, all right, in 5 years, how much is this going to matter, right? Bring the honor. Bring the honor. It's not going to matter in 5 years. There's no need to go out and hire an attorney. Okay, so then I started thinking about this. Respect the now. Hashtag respect the now. It was a Saturday morning. There was nobody that I was going to be able to talk to. I couldn't call somebody and ask them a question. I had a couple of options. I could send an email, which I didn't love that option because, frankly, I was really mad. I was not confident that I would bring the honor in an email. I had a feeling it was going to be ugly. So what does wisdom say? Take a step back, because this isn't an emergency. People, we can take a step back and understand. We can choose to take a step back and understand, is this an emergency? Does this have to be taken care of right now? Or can I address this in a few minutes, a few hours, or a few days? Respect the now. If you're out of control, if you're angry, if you are flaming mad, now is not the time to start firing off emails, making phone calls, and doing all of those things that we so badly want to do. We want our justice. Bring the honor. Respect the now. What's your mental state? And ask yourself right now, what do I want? I want people to suffer. People, that's a bad motive. It is a bad motive. Wanting other people to suffer is not good. Trust me on that, right? But you've felt it. Boy, some of you are, this is really resonating with you. Yeah, it is so frustrating. I was right. They were wrong. I wanted a pound of flesh. I was a little bit too angry to take any action right then. I respected the now. The third Thrive and Change principle is this: trust the process. I am sure this organization has a process. They have a process. I am convinced in my heart I would not want to take part in an organization of any kind that didn't want what's best for the people who participated, that didn't operate from a place of integrity. So I am confident this organization has a process for somebody like me to reach out and say, this is what I was struggling with. This is what happened to me. Can you help me? What did I do wrong? What did I miss? How can I do it better next time? Do I have alternative options? Listen to how calm I sound. Yesterday, when I listened to that video, that feedback that told me I was not going to be able to take part in this, I was flaming mad. But with a little bit of time, a little bit of reflection, I was able to get a grip and say, all right, what's the process? What's the process? Years ago, I was the public affairs spokesperson, media spokesperson for the United States Postal Service. And one of our customers mailed a computer from, actually, they mailed it from California to Michigan. And when the computer arrived, it was in pieces in the box, which really stinks. And I understand that customer, when they opened that box, they were so disappointed. But this was the thing. They didn't know the Thrive and Change principles, and they got flaming mad and immediately called Channel 4 News, their crime busters or something, and got all riled up about how terrible the post office was because we had ruined their computer. This is the thing. They kind of made fools of themselves. because they got on television and started belly aching about the fact that their computer arrived in pieces. And when we looked inside the box, somebody had put the computer in the box with a handful of styrofoam peanuts and a plastic Ziploc baggie that they'd blown up and zipped. And that was it. Computers don't travel well that way. And so on television, they were embarrassed because they didn't trust the process. They didn't take a step back and say, all right, how should I handle this? I was able to take them aside and say, do this, do this. There's a process. Fill out a claim, fill out a form, right? There are processes in place that will save us from ourselves, but they're not going to help us if we want justice. How about we want results? How about we want resolution? How about we want things to be better, to be right? Not, I want people to suffer because I'm suffering. Bring the honor, people. Respect the now. Don't jump ahead of yourself. Give yourself time to settle down. Get your wits about you. And then trust the process. Look for the opportunity to follow the channels they've established to get what you need. There is a process. Follow the process. And finally, hashtag find the beauty. Find the beauty. This is the beauty I found in this whole process. Couple of things. The first one is this. I have grown a lot in the last 20 years. Because 20 years ago, I would have been a raving lunatic that anybody on the other end of that phone or reading that email would have felt the fire. They'd have been rolling their eyes like, I don't want to deal with this woman. And it wouldn't have done any good because I didn't have patience. I didn't have self-restraint. I didn't bring the honor. I felt justified in being rude. I did. So I've grown a lot. So that was one of the areas where I was able to find the beauty. The second thing is this. It was a change that I didn't want. And I had tools to deal with it. What a beautiful thing. Whether it's huge or small, when we have tools at our disposal that help us to be the leaders and influencers that we desire to be, it's profound and amazing. Profound and amazing. It's beautiful. So that's it, you guys. I had a meltdown on Saturday morning. By Saturday afternoon, I had found my focus. I even took a picture of my Thrive and Change bookmark that has the Thrive principles on it, sent it to my coach and said, you don't have to send me a punchki. For those of you who don't know, punchkis are delicious jelly donuts that you get in Polish bakeries, in case you were wondering. So you don't have to send me a punchki. I think I've got it under control. 4 principles. Bring the honor. Respect the now. Trust the process. Find the beauty. That's it, you guys. I am delighted that you have joined me here. I am delighted to share the Thrive and Change principles to help you thrive and change. And I invite you to pop over to Sunday Night Live with Shannon LaBruyere. If you haven't asked to join that group, you want to join because it is growing and it's becoming more and more dynamic. I'm going to start posting some valuable tools and resources that you're going to love when you have your meltdown moment and you're trying to bring the honor. I want you to have a place you can go where you can pull something up and say, what do I do? And we will tell you. For those of you who just jumped on, I hope you will go back and listen to this. Or if you want even more Sunday Night Live, more Thrive and Change, you can start following our podcast, which is now available on Spotify. And we're in the approval process for Apple Podcasts. Used to be called iTunes, but now it's Apple Podcasts. So with that, every one of you, Thank you for being here. I loved watching you jump on. I loved your comments. I can't wait to go back and take a look at them. And I would love to continue these conversations over on our Sunday Night Live group. So I will see you there soon. Bye.